Distortion maps. Part 2. So a very quick disclaimer before I start this video. This video is not a one-stop for all kinds of different UV map manipulations, just for the kind of UV map that my skirt uses in this video. Squaring up a UV map, like how I do it, may not be applicable to all UV maps as they come in different shapes. As this series progresses, I will try my best to cover as many different types as I can, but it's pretty much impossible. Anyway, last video I mentioned how sometimes the decal won't work, as you can see in the background. So today I'll show you how to make this effect work for tube-like outfits such as skirts and stockings. Essentially, we're going to be squaring our UV map so it fits nice and flat and our texture can sit on it. Right, let's open up Blender. Select your mesh and go down to the green triangle at the bottom right. Drop down the UV map sections, select the first UV map, and then click the plus icon. Alright, now let's go to the UV editing window at the top and click the mesh sync button. This will make your view window and your UV edit window sync up. I want this area to have a line, so I'm just going to select it. A super easy way to do this is to turn the mesh into wireframe mode by clicking this little ball at the top right and then click on face select. Now we can just select through the parts we want. Turn off mesh sync. Now let's go into edge select mode at the top left. Create a straight line from the edge of your mesh to the center. Essentially what we're doing here is we're creating a seam that our UV will be able to unwrap from. We're essentially turning it from this circle shape into kind of a square rectangle-y, but it's not perfect yet. Go up to the top and go UV, mark seam. Right click, then press unwrap. Then select the whole mesh again and right click unwrap again. Now go to one of the squares on the edge of the UV map, and basically we want to try and align the edges here to make a square. On the edges that are more horizontal, right click on them and then click align Y, and on the edges that are more vertical, go right click and press align X. If that sounds confusing, just follow what I do along in the video. After aligning all the edges, next let's go back up to the top left and go to face select mode. Next, we're going to right click the square that we just made and we're going to click follow active quads. If it all works correctly, your UV map should square up nicely. Now all we have to do is just place it in the middle and just make sure that it fits inside the square. Before we export it, click the mesh sync button once again. There's a bunch of the skirt left on this UV map that we don't want the decal to sit on, so we're going to get rid of it. Luckily, this is super easy as the section that we want the decal on is already selected. So we can just go select, invert, and then just drag it out of the UV square. Now all we have to do is export it. Sweet. Now back in Unity, we have a couple more things to do. Set the decal UV to UV1 temporarily. Then you can go ahead and align your decal. Now we can switch it to distorted UV. Now scroll down to distortion UV, and now make sure the distorted UV map is set to UV1. And from here on out, it's identical to my last video. And you're done. That's it.